The clamour of the excited spectators gradually... The lid of the box lifts off easily, and inside you find 2 gold pieces and... Ahead, you see that the obstruction is a... You clamber onto the soft boulder, half expecting to be engulfed by it at any moment. Getting over it is difficult, as your limbs sink into its soft casing, but eventually you manage to struggle over it, relieved to be back on firm ground. You press on east, where the tunnel makes a turn to the left and heads north for as far as you can see. The footprints you are following start to peter out as the tunnel becomes gradually drier. Soon, you are beyond the dripping roof and the pools on the floor. You notice the air becoming hotter, and you find yourself panting, even though you are walking quite slowly. In a small recess on the left-hand wall, you see a section of bamboo standing on its end. Lifting it down, you see it is filled with a clear liquid. Your throat is painfully... The water in the bamboo pipe is welcomely refreshing. Although the temperature... The small plate... The door swings open into the room. Ahead, the orcs roar. The orc is strong but slow, and you're able to strike hard with your sword. You parry, but your enemy is strong, and you crack your head on the floor as it knocks you to the ground. Your shield protects you from the orc's frenzied attack, while you're able to hack at its leg. The first orc slumps life. You raise your sword to parry the attack, and are able to kick the orc hard in the stomach. The orc is strong but slow, and you're able to strike hard with your sword. Your shield protects you from the orc's frenzied attack, while you're able to hack at its leg. Inside one of the orc's pockets, you find 1 gold piece and a hollow wooden tube. You put your findings in your backpack and set off west. As you walk along, droplets of water again start falling from the tunnel's ceiling. The door opens. The pouch on the barbarian's belt is... The meat contains her... The passage soon leads to a junction, where you notice more footprints on... There is a large... The idol is very smooth and will be difficult to climb, but the rope you found earlier will help here, and you make it into a lasso. The guardian snaps at you with its vicious beak. You parry, but... You're able to grab the wing of the guardian and send it crashing. Guardian snaps at you with its vicious beak, but you're able to smash the hilt of your sword into its outstretched neck. The crumpled form of the first flying Guardian falls crashing to the floor. So you ready yourself to take on the second. The beating wing of the Guardian smashes into the side of your head, leaving you seeing stars and sapping your stamina. You quickly eat some provisions, increasing your stamina by 4 points. Clawing at your leg with its talons, the Guardian rips away a chunk of your stamina. The Guardian snaps at you with its vicious beak. You parry, but the tip of the creature's beak sinks deep into your arm. Your final swipe dispatches the second. You look down and see the crumpled bodies of the two. Back on solid ground once again on the cavern floor, you try to shake. The lasso loosens itself, and you are able to shake it free of the idol's neck. It falls to the floor with a loud clatter. Not much. The tunnel twists and turns, but keeps steadily north. Ahead, As soon as your head goes under the blue light, you come to an arched. The tunnel ends shortly at a junction. Looking left and right, you walk down the passage and soon find. Taking a step forward, you leap towards the edge of the pit. How lucky are you feeling? Rolling equal to or less than your luck score means you've been lucky, but a higher roll could cost you. Your armor and sword weigh you down, but you just manage to land safely on the far edge of the pit. You waste no time and head east. The tunnel makes a sudden left turn and continues north as far as you can see. You soon arrive at a closed wooden door in the left-hand wall. The door opens into a large candlelit room filled with incredibly lifelike statues of knights and warriors. The old man points at one of the statues, and you recognize it immediately. It is the knight who started the trial of champions. Still smiling, the old man looks at you and says, "Well done, stranger. You have answered correctly. I wish you good fortune during the rest of the trial of champions. And to this end, I shall increase your powers." Only a few meters further down the passage, you see another closed door in the left-hand wall. The door, touching the parchment, you dodge to the side as the warrior swings its sword. You run around the jerking skeleton. The skeleton is strong, but slow. Once again, you reach for the parchment. At the back of the alcove, the tunnel continues west for several hundred meters, finally ending at some steps leading up to a close. You thrust your sword, and you clearly damage the creature. You both swing for each other, and in the confusion, both miss. Your enemy is strong, but slow, and screams in pain as your sword sinks into his leg. You lunge at the creature's stomach with your sword drawn, but the creature whips around, parrying your blow. Neither of you are harmed. You hurl yourself at your enemy, fists flailing, and land a stunning blow. You thrust your sword, and you clearly damage the creature. Your enemy is strong, but slow, and screams in pain as your sword sinks into his leg. You hurl yourself at your enemy, fists flailing, and land a stunning blow. Triumphant in one of your toughest battles to date, you see that the only furniture in the goblin's room, the cupboard, contains the door opens into another tunnel, which rises. You enter a room. You step up to the frightened man and cleave the chain with your... There is an open pipe. The pipe is wet and... Removing the box lid by the... There is a new branch in the tunnel on your left. The necklace is an amulet of strength which adds 1 skill point and 1 stamina point. Pleased with your find, the tunnel soon ends at a junction. Standing there alone and wondering which way to go is... You tie the... on a stone... The book page... The liquid is a magical potion that will enable you to detect hidden traps and adds 2 luck points. As you open the book, setting off, you continue... The tunnel turns sharply to the right, continuing east for as far as you can see. Throm stops and tells you to halt. The troll takes a swing at your head. Thankfully, you drop to the ground, sweeping away the troll's legs. It howls as its head hits the hard ground. The troll grabs you by the throat and manages to half choke you before you get a chance to push it off. You look to the left and see... As soon as you put the ring on your finger, your body continues to vibrate intensely, and you feel as if you're about to pass out, but you're straight. The tunnel leads... The tunnel ends at a large oak door. Throm wastes no time in testing the handle and is somewhat surprised to find the door unlocked. He pushes it open and walks into a torch-lit chamber. Sitting alone on an ornate chair is a dwarf. You tell... The dwarf congratulates you for guessing correctly. He tells you that you must now progress to the second stage of the test. He reaches for a wicker basket and tells you that a snake is held within it. He tips the basket over, and the snake, with lightning speed, you thrust your hand out and grip the cobra just below its open mouth. You lift it up, and with your arm outstretched, you dangle it in front of the dwarf. He doesn't. You call out to the dwarf that you are. The Minotaur leans forward and takes a run at you. Speed is impressive, but you duck and roll aside, landing a heavy blow on its shin. The Minotaur swings its huge axe. Your speed is improving. You run directly. The dwarf calls. The food and drink are. After about 20 minutes, the dwarf reappears on the balcony. He calls down to you. Throm is tall, and you duck, grab him. You grab Throm around the neck, but he is strong, push. You parry Throm's attack, but he is too strong, and you, exhausted by your long. The tunnel soon divides into two. You hear a buzzing sound coming from. There is a large panel. Ahead, a crippled man with shackled feet shuffles into sight, carrying a wooden tray laden with bread and water. He looks tired and miserable, and quite unmoved by the sight of you, and tries to walk past. He looks at you warily when you tell him you are a contestant in the Trial of Champions. You ask him what he is doing in the tunnels, and he replies, rather reluctantly, that he is a servant of one of the trial masters, Baron Circumvit's appointed controllers of the sections of his dungeon. After chatting for a while, he admits that he would like to escape, but no one is allowed to leave the dungeon in case they reveal the secrets of its construction. He tells you that he hopes one day to bribe his way out, and that for 1 gold piece, he will tell you where some treasure is hidden. He takes your gold piece and tells you that in a northern tunnel, there is a wooden chair carved in the shape of a demon bird. In the arm of the chair is a secret panel which contains a potion in a glass vial. It's a doppelganger potion, if I remember right. Good luck. I hope we meet again outside these infernal tunnels. The man shuffles off, and you continue your journey. After a short while, you arrive. Set back in the arched alcove. Remembering the old man's advice, you search the arm of the chair for a secret panel. You find an almost invisible crack in the arm, which you start to press and squeeze. Suddenly a tiny panel springs out of the arm, and you see a glass vial lying in a cavity. You pick it out and read the label. Doppelganger potion, 1 dose only. This liquid will make you assume the shape of any nearby living being. You place the strange potion in your backpack and continue north, where the tunnel starts to slope. The words of the spirit girls. Somewhat nervously, 2 portions of your provisions are saturated and are now inedible. Other than that, all your other possessions remain intact. You repack them carefully inside your backpack and set off north again. A little way along on the left, as you're with the bread contains secret elven healing. Walking along the tunnel, you notice an iron grill in the floor. Lying in a hole about. You reach down into the hole and suddenly your blood runs. Having had the sense not to put your sword arm into the hole, the effects of the tentacled arm are not too serious, meaning you only lose 1 skill point. You reach back into the hole and pull out the grappling iron and the leather pouch. Inside the pouch, you find a tiny brass bell. You pack away your new possessions. A door comes into view. The tunnel starts to widen, and ahead, you pour the contents of the glass vial into your mouth and swallow the clear liquid. After crossing the key turns in the lock, and the door opens into a 4-way intersection of the tunnel. There is nothing to be seen. The tunnel bends sharply to the right, and around the corner you see a little open. After paying off the old man, you climb into the wicker basket and watch as he tilts his head back. You gaze around, smiling. You search through the cupboards. You find yourself standing at the end of a tunnel with a flight of stone steps leading downwards. From the floor below, you can hear the sound of barking dogs. You take the bone out of your backpack and throw it down the stairs. The tunnel veers sharply. You tie the pit fiend's jaws snap at the monkey charm and pluck it out of the air. Suddenly its jaws spring open again, forced apart by the charm, which has expanded to fill its mouth. While the pit fiend thrashes around in the pit, trying to get rid of the charm, you lower yourself down into the pit to reach the double doors. In its mad rage, the pit fiend tries to crush you against the side of the wall with its massive body. Let's see if luck is on your side here. As the pit fiend slams its body against the wall, you let go of the rope and drop safely to the floor. You run towards the double doors and are relieved to feel them swing open as you push on them. You let them swing shut behind you and head north along the tunnel. Walking along, the tunnel leads into the razor-sharp disc. You find a used throwing disc and hurl it. The ninja leaps at you, his sword screeching towards your head, but you parry and are able to kick the fighter directly in the stomach. The ninja is fast, whipping past you and landing a powerful blow in your back. You decide to search the ninja and find a cloth bag in the folds of his robes. Inside it is a flask of water, some rice wrapped in a palm leaf, a jar of ointment, and a beautiful diamond. The ninja's rations are basic but welcome, increasing your stamina by 1 point. You empty the contents of the jar into your hand and apply them to your wounds. Their healing powers take immediate effect, and you feel yourself growing stronger, increasing your stamina by 3 points. You leave the hall, taking just the diamond with you. The only possible way out of the hall, as far as you can see, is by using the chute in the northern wall. You decide to... As soon as you stand up, the creature reaches for you with its mouth from the pool. The blood beast's tail whips around you. You duck. You quickly eat some provisions, increasing your stamina by 4 points. Breathing heavily during your fight. Your blade. The tunnel. You recognize. You raise your The creature runs directly at you. You move too late. You quickly eat some provisions, increasing your stamina by 4 points. You seize an opportunity to attack the creature's lips. You run to avoid the whipping tail, but stumble. As you are wiped, the gnome smiles and says, "You truly are a great adventurer. Now, you will also need a sapphire." The gnome, still smiling, says excitedly, "Excellent. Just one to go. Lastly, you'll need a diamond." The gnome jumps in the air, yelling, "Well done! Nobody has ever managed to find all 3 gems before. Now get ready for the final test, which I will explain once and once only. As you can see, the lock on this door has 3 slots labeled A, B, and C, each of which is built to accept a specific gem. You have to put one of the 3 gems in each of the slots in the correct order. If you manage this at the first attempt, fine. However, if you put the gems in the wrong slots, you will be blasted by a bolt of energy from the lock, causing you injury. So choose carefully. I'm allowed to help you a little. If you place 1 gem in its correct slot but get the other 2 wrong, I shall shout 1 crown and 2 skulls. If you place all 3 gems incorrectly, I shall shout 3 skulls. You will be allowed to try again and again until you either succeed or die. Are you ready? You signal your readiness with a nod of the head and walk forward to place the 3 gems in the slots. For your first try, decide now which gems you will place in the labeled slots. You just have time to hear the gnome say, 3 skulls, before a white bolt of energy shoots out from the lock into your chest, knocking you unconscious. It's 1 dice plus 1 for the damage. Alas, you have run out of stamina. You collapse on the spot. Alas, the tunnel leads into a... You raise your... The creature runs directly at you. You quickly eat some provisions, increasing your stamina by 4 points. You seize an opportunity to attack the creature's leg, but it's ready for you. You seize an opportunity to attack the creature's back leg. You just have time to hear the gnome say, 3 skulls, before a white bolt of energy shoots out from the lock into your chest, knocking you unconscious. It's 1 dice plus 1 for the damage. You come to and are told by the gnome to try again. You chose the wrong gems last time, so you won't try that combination again. You just have time to hear the gnome yell, 3 crowns, before the lock clicks open. As the heavy door swings slowly outwards, the gnome rushes towards it, hurling the glass ball at your feet. Green gas escapes from the broken glass. I'm afraid we'll need to test your luck to see if you avoid inhaling it. Covering your nose and mouth with your hand to avoid breathing in the gas, you follow the gnome through the open door. You enter another tunnel, at the end of which is the welcome sight of daylight. Much to your surprise, you see the gnome lying dead halfway down the tunnel. A crossbow bolt protrudes from the side of his head. The gnome, in his own bid for freedom, has fallen foul of Baron Succumvit's final trap. You walk past him and out into the brilliant sunshine. As soon as you appear at the tunnel exit, a large crowd begins to cheer and shout. You walk down a path lined with jubilant people towards a small rostrum, and there, sitting under a colourful bamboo umbrella, is Baron Succumvit. He looks astonished, as if he never expected anybody to come through his Deathtrap dungeon alive. Now the secret of Fang is known. As the Baron rises from his chair, you climb the steps to the rostrum, bow down before him, and watch as his cold eyes stare at you in utter disbelief. You smile grimly as he offers you his outstretched hand. To the deafening noise of the cheering people of Fang, Baron Succumvit opens the chest containing your prize of 10,000 gold pieces. Then he places a laurel crown on your head and proclaims you the champion of Deathtrap Dungeon.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode, and as usual, leave a comment down below, subscribe for more video updates, and share this on your Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and all the social medias. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to turn on the notification bell to stay up to date on my YouTube channel. And if you guys want to help me out in some shape or form, I do have a Patreon account down below in the description box. And as usual, thank you for watching everybody, and have a pleasant day. Bye bye.